Dear Ms Bellamy, I am writing to respond about your concern regarding poor attendance and punctuality. Well done. You've addressed who you're talking to, the recipient, and you have stated straight away the reason for writing that letter. Very good. Firstly, I think some students are having difficulty because of transportation, including traffic jam, taking their children to school, illness, or important appointments. Okay, so you're initially giving a reason for the poor attendance, which is very good, and you've given examples. They're having difficulty because of transportation, including traffic jam. Now, traffic jam is countable. So we can't say just traffic jam by itself, it's countable. So I'd like you to take a look at that again, please. What do you think we would do to a noun which is countable? Like glass. What do we usually do to something that's countable? Glass, glasses. Yeah. So please change that to make it appropriate. Secondly, I believe some students have a problem. I think that's an extra space here. Some students have a problem, as I mentioned above. However, they should specify the reason for their absent and punctuality. Okay, so initially you gave one reason. Secondly, I believe some students have a problem, as I mentioned above. So if you have already mentioned it above, there is no need to talk about it here again, is there? So there is actually no need for this part of the sentence again. All you've done is basically wasted words. You've already mentioned something, and now you're saying here that I've already mentioned it above. So that's a shame, really. We don't really need that part there, okay? However, they should specify the reason for their absent and punctuality, okay? There is a personal pronoun, and after the personal pronoun we bring the noun. What you have used here is an adjective. I'd like you to change this to the noun, please. Reason for their noun and punctuality. Otherwise, it's just like wasting their time, basically, okay? Remember that this is a formal letter, and in a formal letter we don't usually have pardon me, abbreviations. So let's just remember that it's a formal letter and we don't have abbreviations. Otherwise, it's just like wasting their time, basically. You've got the word otherwise, so we don't really need the word basically. Okay, so that's actually extra. After all, I suggest student shouldn't allow themselves to be delay as possible as they can. Okay, so after all, I think here what you're trying to say is finally, or in conclusion. After all, we would use after all at the end of a story or a very long list of events or happenings or actions. We can't really use after all after just 2 points, okay? So if you would kindly change that, and in a way you're trying to say that this is the concluding part of my letter, so you might want to put something else there just to show you're concluding the letter. I suggest student. Again, student is a countable noun, so please change that accordingly. And when we want to change it, we either need an article a student, or we need to make it plural. I suggest students, so you can choose which of those you want to do. I suggest whatever. Shouldn't allow. Again, we've got abbreviated form here which isn't what we need. Remember, it's a formal letter. Shouldn't allow themselves to be, very good, delay. So delay is a noun. After to be, you need the adjective. okay? Shouldn't allow themselves to be adjective as possible as they can. I think this is still the continuation of the sentence before, so there's no need for a capital, okay? As possible as they can, maybe we can write as much as possible. Is that right? Okay, and I'm going to change that to a small one. So that's a possibility if you want to use that instead of as much as they can, as possible as they can. Yours sincerely, very good, A Feridun. And you've written sincerely because you know exactly who you have spoken to. That's a very good letter. You have used the correct register. You know who you've written to, you've used yours sincerely. You have stated at the very beginning the reason for writing your letter. You've given 2 reasons, and for each of them you've also given examples, and you've finally concluded. That's a very, very good letter. If you could just make these slight adjustments, it'll be perfect. Thank you.